Welcome back to Jurien Bay, a relatively sleepy town considering it's only 2.5 hours north of Perth. But it's a gorgeous part of Australia that we have fallen in love with. This week's video is full on. We're squeezing a ton of what we think are the best activities into one video. We spend the morning with these guys, refuel with the local catch, before spending the afternoon in a very lunar-like landscape. This area is not as well known as the likes of Ningaloo and Esperance, but we think it's got just as much, if not more, to offer. We love it here, so come join us.
We're woken up at 5 a.m. We're just trying to pack up all our camera gear and then get our snorkeling gear and everything in the back of the car, because we are hopefully going out to see sea lions today. Still skeptical that we'll be able to see them, but we're trusting that once you get past the kind of reef, as they call it, the water will be clearer and we will be able to see some sea lions. I'm so excited. If the water's clear, we need to motor now because we need to be there in about half an hour.
Alright, let's do this. You?
Good.
Finally awake.
Sea lions, here we come. Being 18 minutes down the road from our camp at Sandy Cape Recreation Park, heading to the jetty to link up with the boat which we're on, and the sunrise has made getting up worth it already because we've just been cruising directly as the sun's been rising in front of us out of camp. So if that's anything to go by, today's going to be a good day. When you start the day off with a sunrise, I think it's always a good day.
I wanted to just get this on camera that we are here, ready, early for once. We're always on camera late for something, so I decided to take this opportunity to say good on us.
A few kilometres offshore lies an island teeming with life above and below the water. The sea lions were there to greet us as we arrived, almost beckoning us into the water. We suited up and got ready for what little did we know would be our favourite marine encounter yet. So if you're ready for some serious cuteness, let's jump straight in.
We absolutely lucked out with the viz, and the early morning sun rays shining through the water made this experience so much cooler. And sea lions actually communicate by blowing bubbles like this. So we were under strict instructions not to blow bubbles back because obviously we would have no idea what we were saying back to them. Apparently, according to the tour operators, you can insult them by blowing the wrong bubbles. Pretty cool though. And with a quick costume change, because apparently this one looks better, we were back in the water to experience the sea lions jumping around and having an absolute ball. This is fast becoming my absolute happy place.
All I want is all of you, baby, baby. Nothing less than that will do, baby, baby. You take me higher, higher, higher. You set my soul on fire, fire, baby. You get me like no one before, yeah. You don't need me, but you want me more and more. Something I adore, and I know, I'm sure, I feel with you. So just stay, you stay, I'm yours, babe. It's true. You take me You take me You set my soul All I want is all of you, baby, baby. Nothing less than that will do, baby, baby. You take me higher, higher, higher. You set my soul on fire, fire.
If you're in Jurien Bay, this is an absolute must-do. We don't often pay for tours, but this one was totally worth it. We went with Turquoise Safaris, which cost about $100 per person. We departed at around 7 a.m. The tour lasted 2 to 3 hours, and I believe they run all year round if you don't mind the colder water.
You take me higher.
That was insane.
I can't speak highly enough of how cool it was interacting with sea lions. It exceeded all expectations I had.
I saw at one point they were coming up to you and they were putting like their nose like right in the camera.
They'd come right up and literally be like,
Lick the camera.
kind of looked like they were like sniffing the GoPro. The more you swam down and sort of jumped about and went upside down, the more
Like
they
were.
they vibed off you, and they did the same. And so like you went upside down under them, they would come upside down under you. I am so happy that the viz out there is, it was a little bit murky, but so much nicer than on shore.
Yeah.
And I think as good as we could have hoped for.
Mm-hmm.
It's still just like ecstatic, like a kid in a candy shop. I'm just like so pumped. I remember being out there and just being like, this is the best thing ever. That's probably the best underwater sea life experience I've ever had. So we did the manta rays and that was cool. But those like sea lions, they're just like massive puppy dogs.
They just want to play.
They just want to
all
play,
day.
run around. You can really see like the expressions and the interest and intrigue. They're definitely like puppy dogs of the seas.
So they were doing this crazy dance where they were circling one another and then they were hugging each other. And it was the cutest thing.
I am very, very, very happy. Worth every cent doing the trip. Interestingly enough, we found that the place it goes out to is actually very close to where we were four-wheel driving yesterday. So if we wanted to go back out there, we could technically paddle out. But on to the next, potentially a spot of lunch at the Lobster Shack, and then on to the Pinnacles big day plan. Explain this outfit change.
Ta-da!
Looking very respectable.
Well, thanks. I thought I'd do my best, to hide the fact that I haven't washed my hair. Throw on some new clothes, some dry swimmers. We're going into the Lobster Shack, which I'm very excited about. So this is the...
Is that because it involves food?
Yeah, I haven't eaten breakfast and I've just swam a good amount of swimming with the sea lion, so I feel like I've deserved it this morning. Yeah, we come to the Lobster Shack in Cervantes, I think is the town that it's called, or how it's pronounced. 20 minutes south of Jurien Bay, because this is the place where all the lobster comes in.
I've heard mixed things. The reviews online are a bit mixed as well. And the guys we're chatting to on the boat said it might actually be a lot better now because there's less international tourists. And I'll let you read into that what you want. But it seems pretty quiet. We are here half an hour before it opens, so we're allowed in.
They're going to think we're super keen.
Yeah, we're allowed in 5 minutes and we're going to be the first ones through the door most probably. But if we can pick up some nice lobster, it's not a bad snack to have when in Rome and all that. We don't eat lobster for brekkie many days, so I'm keen.
Welcome to the Lobster Shack. We love a place with solid branding. They still catch all the lobster from the waters just outside. They also do tours if you're interested. Being here midweek meant we got the pick of all of these tables. I'm assuming later on in the day and on the weekend it's busier.
Hey, there's everything on here that you could imagine. The burgers, rock lobster, mussels, abalone. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be eating quite a bit here. One of everything.
We want everything.
Yeah, I'm really going to have to read this menu and understand what I want to pick.
It's been the hardest decision ever. Okay, we have settled, finally, on whole lobster with garlic butter, chips and salad, and a side of the Cervantes tempura battered octopus salad. Both local, both sound delicious.
And the verdict is...
So good. I really just want to savour every bite of this.
Pretty cool that it was caught just out here.
And apparently the lobster is steam cooked using filtered seawater, which helps it retain its protein and its natural flavour.
We just looked up in town, literally like 5 minutes away from the Lobster Shack. There's a place with Stromatolites. I don't know if they're that much to look at. I think they're just like kind of in this inland lake, which used to be where the sea was. And when it receded, it kind of created this perfect little biosphere that never changed. So could be cool. So we're gonna head there, see what Stromatolites look like, then head to the Pinnacles, which are big limestone formations.
A sign.
1.5k, allow 30 minutes, follow the path, don't touch Stromatolites. I mean, it's a lake and the path just goes down the outside, so I'll be pretty upset if we got lost. The Stromatolites is pretty much just at that platform out there, so we don't even have to walk on the whole thing if we don't want to.
Whoop, look at that.
Come on. So, what are you most excited to see about Stromatolites?
The lake.
No?
What do you mean, what am I most excited to see about them? I think it's pretty cool that they're some of the oldest organisms in the world. And I think just knowing that makes them really cool. I don't know from the photos online whether they're actually very interesting.
Oh, so you've seen photos. I thought I was wanting you to guess what a stromatolite looked like, but you've already cheated, so forget I asked the question. You won't be surprised then. Can't believe there's not more people. Can't believe there's not queues to see the stromatolites. I thought most of Australia would be here now queuing up, but only one's in the car park and only one's on the path as well. So obviously, I don't know, maybe it's closed. That's why people aren't here.
So it's Tuesday, people are at work, you know, there's things to do.
And geez, if this got out that you could come and see stromatolites and there's not a queue and you don't have to pay, they'd be beating people away with a stick. Anyway, I guess we're just lucky. It's what you get when you're traveling full time. You get to know the ins and the outs and the secrets and you avoid the crowds.
That's how you do it.
Not that I think there's ever any crowds here. Or ever any tourists, but you know, all the better for us. This is interesting. They'll get the old school trip, I reckon.
Yeah, they'll come in waves.
I think there's a limit to how many times you can bring the local school out here before they have well and truly understood what stromatolites are. But anyway.
The reason why stromatolites grow so well in this lake condition is because the lake is 1.5 times saltier than the sea. So, not many predators can live in here, but these guys do really well. The dark areas at the bottom of the mound are actually the wet areas, so that's where the active growth of cyanobacteria is, which is the stuff that helps them grow. And it helps them continue to grow, so you'll see this now at this size, I don't know, 1/2 meter wide. And then in a few years' time, it'll be even bigger. So always growing. Very cool.
I assume there's no predators for a rock.
Well, who would want to eat a rock?
No. Their biggest concern would be rising temperatures, salinity changes, a few other things. But that's them right there. Cool though.
There's heaps over here.
So they're a good example of one of the earliest forms of life on our planet. I need to clarify, according to Sophie, one of my facts. These are descendants of the early forms of life, 3 billion years ago that helped produce the oxygen and, terraform the planet to what we have today, where we can all live and breathe. But these ones that are growing here are only 3,500 years old because they were formed when that lowering of sea levels and the sand duning effectively cut it off from the sea, and then they've been growing here ever since. So they are the same genus descendants, but not the actual ones that were growing 3 billion years ago. So that's the definition you want me to make.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this.
And you laughed at me when you said what kind of animals would feed on rocks.
I did.
What does the sign say?
It does say that the reason they grow well here, can't find the line, but is because they are...
It's the last line in the first program. I've highlighted it.
Where conditions are suitable with few marine animals to graze them. Mind blowing?
Mind blown. They're not much to look at, but when you start to understand how they're formed and the fact that, they're 4.5 or 3,500 years old, that's incredible.
One thing I've learned from these is go to the gift shop / information center first. Because then you know a little bit about what you're seeing and you're not wandering around going, this rock looks like a rock. And this piece of limestone looks like limestone. So I'm going to go up there, we'll park up.
One thing they never show in the nice glamorous vlogs is all the flies.
You just look like a crazy person on camera, Phil.
They love black. Although I haven't looked at my bag, so maybe they're like red too. clued up now on all your Pinnacles facts?
Yeah, I read all the signs.
Do you want to give us one now, or should we wait until we get into the desert?
I think let's wait till we see them, I think.
All right.
Yeah, and then I'll try and remember them all. So the two ways I think these things were formed, basically the same process. It's rain causing the fragments of shells, the kind of stuff like the basis of limestone, rain turning that to carbonic acid, letting it flow through, and then collecting and forming limestone somewhere in the bottom and creating these pillars. And the two ways they think it could have happened, well, the scientists do anyway, is one is an ancient forest that was covered by sand dunes at some point, and then the tree trunks were covered by this carbonic acid forming into limestone and then getting covered and then, I guess, uncovering to reveal this at some point, which they think was revealed out of the sand dunes probably only a couple hundred years ago. So this is relatively new, geologically speaking, to be able to see these in this way. And the other theory was that it was a sand dune and they had plants on top, and those plants did the same thing. They sort of held the sand dune together, and then the carbonic acid from rain in the lime or the shells would create these underneath where they were based. That theory has a little bit more weight to it because they think because of all the animals and stuff that would live there, that was helping increase the acidity in the rainwater, which would then make these form faster. I have an alternative theory for what these are, and I'm sure there's no science to back what I'm saying up. I'm sure it's a lot of science that you say the opposite, but I think they were just termite mounds, and they got covered by a sand dune, and then the limestone in the sand dune, the same process scientists think it actually formed other ways, dripped through and eroded away the dirt and so on in this, and eventually created limestone sort of replicas. You can kind of see all the interwoven parts and so on that I think would be inside a termite mound, and they look like termite. This looks just like, yeah, they're a little bit blockier and so on, but I think that would explain it. However, I'm sure they cut these open and probably disprove that theory pretty quickly, but they just look so much like it. So, hey, there's an alternative third theory. If it ever comes out that these were termite mounds, you heard it here first.
Quick pub quiz. Are there more pinnacles in the Pinnacles Desert, or are there more flies? Like a shirt. There you go. Quick bit of trivia. I think it's a close call. Not quite sure.
I think there's definitely more pinnacles, but I get the point. What if I do?
No, then they'll come on to me.
Driven kind of further around the loop track. We got into these ones and they caught our eye when we were coming around in the car, because you literally have the same as we had before, like all kind of sandy colour, same sort of sand colour as we've got here, and then at a certain point where you can see like a ground layer must have been at one point, then you have all this red sand, kind of like what we had at James Price's Point, like just much richer red, and like you can see it all of them, it's at around about the same level. So at some point or another, the different strata or ground level with a completely different soil type. And then you can see it. So I don't know if you keep going down, how far these go, if it keeps changing colour, maybe there's another one underneath that. But that really caught my eye, because you literally go sand, ready sand, God knows what.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this one. We're going to take a quick break from showing you our Western Australia road trip and bring you up to speed on our latest travels. If you're a regular follower, you'll know that we're about to embark on undoubtedly our craziest adventure yet, turning this thing into our home on wheels, whilst juggling this little one. And if you're a regular follower, then you'll also know that the handover of our truck, so we can build out this thing, keeps getting delayed. So we've left England, where our truck is, and flown to Bali. Yeah, I know, we are struggling to keep up too. And for the next few videos, we're going to bring you with us as we live and explore this beautiful part of the world.
Thanks for watching, guys. We can't wait to share our Bali adventure with you all. And if/when our truck may be ready, it's been an absolute nightmare so far. But stay safe, look after each other. We'll catch you in the next one.